What it do is Glide Gaming, and in this video, I want to talk about a few fixes and improvements I would like to see come to this game at its release. Now, when I was playing the beta, I didn't really have that many problems with it. As far as playing it goes, it ran pretty smooth. There weren't many crashes. There was lag, but it wasn't unplayable lag or unbearable lag. So these fixes I want to talk about in this video are just some quality of life fixes that I think will make this game better and give this game more longevity. So we're going to get right into it with my first fix, and that's a quick item drop. In this game, you can't drop items from your weapon wheel or from your item wheel like a shield potion or a health potion. You have to go into your menu, scroll to it, then drop it for your teammate. And I feel like that takes a lot of time from this fast paced battle royale, and you should be able to drop it straight from the weapon wheel. That way you don't have to stop and stand completely still and scroll through your menu, because this is a really fast-paced battle royale, so every second counts. Everything needs to be as quick as possible. The next thing I want to talk about is increased damage when outside of the circle. Now in the final circle, the storm does do a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong, I will give it that. But as far as the rest of the match goes, the storm doesn't do much damage in my opinion. And I think a small tweak to that will be really good as far as keeping people moving, keeping people outside of the storm and in the circle, keeping the game active. The next thing I want to talk about is the glitching on landing. Now, when you're on the landing menu, when you're picking where you want to drop with your team, sometimes once you pick, it'll glitch out and your character will just spam their catchphrase. You'll think you're about to lag out, but then you'll eventually load into the match. Small quality of life problem that I'm sure they're going to deal with, but it's still a problem, so I wanted to talk about it here. The next thing I want to talk about is hitbox and hit detection with your melee combos. Now, I'm not sure if it's either the hitbox or the hit detection, but when you're doing melee combos, you're sometimes just whiffing attacks that you shouldn't whiff, especially when the person you're fighting is down. A person could be down and they do get a bit of iframes when they go down, but after the iframes are done, you're still just missing. And it's not because you're hitting their iframes, it's because you're just not hitting them. The hit detection is kind of weird against down players. Now I know they want you to use your quirk as much as possible, so the way around that is to just try to use a quirk while they're down and get that kill. But I feel like the melee should be a bit better. It has to be better in this game, especially if you're using Shigaraki like me or like a Deku or All Might. When you're up close, that's where it really counts. That's where you can get a lot of damage in. So they definitely need to fix that. The next thing I would like to see added is a game chat. This is a trio game, so if you don't have three people to consistently play with, you're spending a lot of time playing with a random, and that can get very frustrating, especially if the communication's off, if your random is not working with you guys, they're off doing their own thing. So I feel like game chat will help this game a lot, and it'll help people continuously play even if they are solo players. Maybe they'll find a group to play with through the game chat, because it's been plenty of occasion where it's just me and one other person playing, one other of my friends playing, and we got a random who just died immediately because we didn't even know where they were, and we couldn't get to them to help them because they didn't even land with us or something. It's something like that. So there is a ping system, of course, but sometimes you can't really use your ping system or see your ping system if you're in a fight or something like that. So I feel like game chat is definitely a great addition for this game if they do decide to add it. The next improvement I would like to see is a change to the UI or the HUD, because right now I feel like the HUD's all over the place. You can see it on the screen right now. You got your health bar in the lower left corner. You got your map at the top right. It's a lot to look at. I feel like they can tighten it up a bit, bring the map down, move your potions and your cards over more to the middle of the screen. I feel like they can do without the player count in the top left of the screen. You should be able to look at it if you pull up your map or something, but I feel like that's unnecessary up there, especially because the kills pop up there as well. It's a lot going on your screen as is with all the quirks going on, so I feel like just a tighten up of the UI will help this game a lot as well. The next thing I would like to see is more characters at release. Now, there was a significant amount of characters during the beta, But I feel like that can't be what's there at the release of the game. There has to be more. It just is necessary to this game's longevity. It's necessary for the meta of the game. There was ending up a lot of All Mights towards the end of the beta because everybody knew he was OP. So definitely more characters at release. I'm hoping there's more characters at release to keep this game from getting too stale too fast. So let's just hope that they do, that this is not all that they have for us when this game comes out. I don't think it is, but I definitely need it to be more characters. That leads me into my next thing though, and this is more of a nerf than a quality of life thing, but I feel like a nerf to this character is for the quality of life of this game, and that's a All Might nerf. All Might is too powerful. He is way too powerful to be here in this game. I get it. He's All Might. He's the greatest hero to ever do it. But he is too strong in this game. He wipes teams dolo. You don't really need a team if you're using All Might. You got it yourself. You go 10 kills straight without without any problems really if you're playing All Might and using him to his maximum potential. And that's not hard to do because he is so broken. So just a small nerf to All Might, not to his whole kit. Maybe just a few of his moves, maybe to his Detroit Smash and to his jump away, because he can come and do so much damage and just get off the scene for a few seconds and get right back in there and do so much damage before you even can heal up. So just a nerf to All Might I think would really help this game out a lot. It may be for All Might mains, maybe it's different for you, but it could really help this game a lot. The next fix this game needs is getting stuck in animation. You can see it right here on the screen. I was stuck in the blocking animation, but my moves were still coming out. And that's just a weird thing to see. It takes you out of the game. It takes you out of the immersion. So they definitely need to fix that getting stuck in animations. I think one time my teammate died. I couldn't res because I was stuck in an animation like that. So that's definitely a fix that we need to see. The next thing I want to talk about is the supply crate. Now, when you open the supply crate, this is a thing that my friend Rip and Lotus brought up to me. When you open the supply crate, the supplies do just shoot out everywhere, and it is a bit troublesome because if you're in the final circle when you open a supply crate, all of your items can fly out into the storm, and now you can't even get them. Or they can, if you're on the mountain, they can fall to the bottom of the mountain to another team for them to use, and you can't even use them. So I feel like that supply crate thing is a big problem that needs to be fixed. The next thing I want to talk about is picking up cards and them not going straight into your slot, into picking up the same card, or be it an A card or a Y card, and them not going straight into the slot without you having to open the menu, even though you have that setting on. There is a setting where it does that as soon as you pick up a card that matches, it goes straight into your slot and levels your skills, but sometimes it does not work. I found myself a lot of times having to pick up a card, saying that my skill didn't go up, and then having to go into my menu and select it myself, and that does take a lot of time, and it really takes away the purpose of having the setting where it does that on its own when it doesn't work. So that's another fix, just a small fix that I feel like they need to make to this game to just, make it as perfect as possible. Another thing I would like to see is a fix to the waiting lobby, and I'm not sure if this is just a P4 problem or what, but I am still playing on P4, so when I go into the waiting lobby, sometimes my whole game just freezes when I'm in the lobby with all the other players, and sometimes I think I'm going to crash out, but I don't, and I do load into the match, but it does freeze the whole game, and that is kind of frustrating to see when you're playing the game. So I feel like it should be a smooth transition into the waiting lobby, and I'm sure they'll have that fixed as well before the game comes out. If they don't, that's just a oversight that I feel like is pretty easy to fix. The next thing I would like to see is more teams on the field. Now, I feel like the amount of teams in this game is set in stone. I feel like they're not going to change it, but I feel like these matches do end too soon a lot of the time. Sometimes you'll make it to the final circle without really getting any fights because everybody killed each other in the first circle. So I feel like more trios added to the match and a larger circle would definitely benefit this game a lot as far as keeping the game exciting. You know, more problems to deal with, not just getting to final circles without having to do much of anything at all. I feel like about 2 or 3 more trios in the match will probably help this game out a lot. And coming to my last and final thing, this for all my Mount Lady players, if anybody does play her, I feel like she's pretty low tier. And one of the reasons is this. If Mount Lady goes into her giant form when she's inside the building, she hits her head on the roof. It's pretty funny to see, but I feel like she should break through the building when she turns into a giant. That way, for anybody who's playing Mount Lady, they don't have to accidentally think they can break through a building, because it is pretty logical, but they don't have to think they're going to break through a building just to hit their head and die. I've killed a few Mount Ladies like that, and it was kind of it felt dirty. I felt like I shouldn't have been able to do that. So for all my Mount Lady mains, this one's for you. I feel like they should change that, and that'll up Mount Lady in the tier for sure. But that's all the fixes and changes I have for this video. Thank you if you stayed around and watched this long. Thanks for even watching at all. If I missed anything, if you got any fixes and improvements you would like to see yourself, put them down in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video.